Do you remember him? He was once one of the most promising young stars in Hollywood. He was everywhere: movies, red carpets, magazine covers, and then, out of nowhere, he vanished. Today, many people have no idea where he is or what he's been up to. So sit back, because in today's video you'll find out everything about Jaden Smith, the boy who once charmed the world and chose to follow a very different path. And at the end, I want to know, do you think he lost himself? Or finally, set himself free? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us on this journey. From child prodigy to enigma. From the prodigy son of one of Hollywood's biggest stars to an eccentric and mysterious young man who faded from the spotlight, Jaden Smith's story is as surprising as it is intriguing. You probably remember him alongside his father, Will Smith, in the emotional film The Pursuit of Happiness, or dominating the screen in The Karate Kid, one of Hollywood's most successful remakes. But what happened after that? Why did someone with so much potential, fame, and global recognition suddenly fade from the mainstream media? What made Jaden step away from traditional cinema and the obvious fame that surrounded him? In this video, we'll take a deep dive into Jaden Smith's journey, from his promising beginning to his quiet retreat. We'll explore what he's doing now, how he sees the world, and why he chose a path so different from most young celebrities. Stick with us and get ready to see a side of Jaden Smith you may have never seen before. His rise to fame. Jaden Smith was born in 1998 to two entertainment icons, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. From an early age, he was surrounded by fame and cameras. His big break came at just 8 years old when he starred in The Pursuit of Happiness, 2006, alongside his dad. His performance was impressive, natural, heartfelt, and moving. That role opened immediate doors for him. In 2008, he appeared in The Day the Earth Stood Still, and 2 years later, he took the world by storm in the Karate Kid remake with Jackie Chan. The film was a global hit and proved that Jaden wasn't just a famous kid, he had real talent. With back-to-back successes, many believed he would follow in his father's footsteps and become one of Hollywood's major stars. He also began exploring music, releasing rap tracks with his own unique style. With charisma, originality, and growing visibility, it seemed like Jaden had a golden future ahead. When he vanished from the spotlight. After the huge success of The Karate Kid, something began to shift in Jaden's career. In 2013, he starred in After Earth, again with his father. But the film flopped, both critically and at the box office, and it shook the young actor's confidence. The negative reception from the public and media caused Jaden to pull back, and he started fading from major movie roles. Rather than chasing new acting gigs, he began expressing himself in other ways, especially through social media, where he posted cryptic, philosophical, and sometimes strange thoughts for someone his age. Some people questioned his mental health, while others saw a young person simply trying to find himself. He also started showing up less at public events, interviews, and red carpets. His image was slowly replaced by newer young stars, and Jaden almost silently stepped away from the traditional spotlight. But that didn't mean he stopped. Far from it. What happened after that? Away from movie sets, Jaden threw himself into more personal and creative projects. One of them was his music career. In 2017, he released his debut album, Sire, which surprised both fans and critics with its experimental sound, deep lyrics, and polished production. He wasn't just a celebrity kid trying to rap, he showed true artistic maturity and originality. Beyond music, Jaden dove into fashion with his brand MSFTS Rep, promoting genderless and alternative styles. He quickly became an unconventional fashion icon, challenging social norms with bold, authentic looks. But he didn't stop there. In 2019, Jaden launched Just Water, a sustainable water company focused on social and environmental impact. He even installed free clean water stations in underserved U.S. communities. Rather than chasing traditional fame, Jaden chose to use his platform to reinvent himself as an artist, activist, and entrepreneur. Where he is and what he's doing now. Today, Jaden Smith is still active, though far removed from the typical Hollywood celebrity path. He has released new albums, like CTV3, Cool Tape Volume 3, showcasing his musical evolution across alt-rap, indie pop, and even rock. On social media, he shares philosophical thoughts, environmental ideas, and artistic projects. His company, Just Water, continues to grow and stands as a model of conscious entrepreneurship. He also remains involved in fashion, collaborating with major brands and appearing in campaigns that challenge industry standards. In rare interviews, Jaden talks about mental health, spirituality, and the importance of being true to yourself. Though he hasn't appeared in major films for years, he stays relevant among younger audiences thanks to his authenticity and creativity. Jaden is no longer seeking Hollywood's approval. He's chasing meaning in his creations and causes. He's a multifaceted artist, guided more by purpose than fame. A final thought for the audience. Jaden Smith chose a path few would dare to follow, especially someone raised in the glare of fame. Rather than meet the entertainment industry's expectations, he carved out a lifestyle rooted in freedom, creativity, and purpose. He traded red carpets for creative stages, social startups, and a unique aesthetic universe. Many critics said he was lost, but maybe he just found himself in a way most never do. Today, Jaden is far more than Will Smith's son. He's a musician, entrepreneur, designer, and activist, all on his own terms. So here's the question. Was the world ever really ready for someone like Jaden? Or could we still see him rise again in Hollywood with a whole new mission? Let us know in the comments. Do you think Jaden made the right choice? Or did he walk away from a golden career? Chances are you've seen a movie starring Bruce Willis. Maybe you were moved by The Sixth Sense, thrilled by the intensity of Die Hard, or captivated by the depth of Unbreakable. It doesn't really matter which one. The truth is, Bruce Willis has been part of the lives of millions of people around the world. With a career filled with unforgettable performances, he starred in some of the biggest box office hits of the past 4 decades. His face became a symbol of action, wit, and emotional intensity. He made us laugh, cry, and hold our breath. He was the flawed hero, the everyman thrown into extraordinary situations. And maybe that's why we loved him so much. But today, we're not here to talk about a new film. We're here because of a painful truth. Bruce Willis has been diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia, FTD, a progressive condition that slowly takes away speech, memory, and even the sense of self. Yes, it's exactly as heartbreaking as it sounds. Bruce no longer remembers that he was Bruce Willis. The man who faced bombs, ghosts, and the end of the world on screen now lives far from the cameras, surrounded by family, cared for with love and patience. He no longer gives interviews. He no longer attends premieres. He didn't choose to step away. The disease forced him into silence, robbing him of the thing that defined his life: communication, expression, identity. This video is a tribute, a way to remember, to honor the story of a man who, without even realizing it, shaped a generation. We'll revisit his journey, understand what happened, learn where he is today, and reflect on what it all means for the rest of us. Because if this happened to Bruce Willis, someone so strong, so present, so unforgettable, then maybe it reminds us of something we too often forget. We're all vulnerable. Successful career. Before becoming known as an action star, Bruce Willis began his career on television. He gained national recognition with the series Moonlighting, 1985-1989, alongside Cybill Shepherd, where his talent for comedy, improvisation, and charisma caught Hollywood's attention. The role earned him an Emmy and a Golden Globe, and opened the doors to a film career that would soon surpass all expectations. In 1988, everything changed with the release of Die Hard. As John McClane, Willis reinvented the action hero: human, vulnerable, ironic, and relentless. The film wasn't just a commercial hit. It established Bruce as the leading man of a new era in action cinema. The franchise would span 5 films over 25 years, becoming a cornerstone of his career. But his journey went far beyond explosions. Bruce Willis built a diverse filmography. In Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, 1994, he showcased his dramatic range. In M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense, 1999, he starred in one of the greatest modern suspense hits. Films like The Fifth Element, 1997, 12 Monkeys, 1995, Armageddon, 1998, and Unbreakable, 2000, expanded his reputation as an actor capable of moving effortlessly between genres. Over 4 decades, Willis appeared in more than 70 films, racking up billions at the box office and becoming one of the most recognizable and consistent figures of his generation. He also explored music, theater, and production, remaining active and relevant far longer than many of his peers. More than numbers or awards, his career stands for something bigger. Bruce Willis became an archetype, the everyman in extraordinary situations, an actor who brought humanity to the hero, vulnerability to the invincible, and empathy to action cinema, a face that for decades was synonymous with global entertainment. The moment he disappeared from the spotlight. For many years, Bruce Willis maintained an impressive work pace. Even after cementing his status as a cinematic icon, he continued acting in several films each year. However, by the mid-2010s, fans and industry professionals began to notice something unusual: a decline in the quality of his projects, increasingly smaller roles, and a growing sense of disconnect between the actor and his characters. Some of the films he appeared in seemed built entirely around his presence, with basic scripts and minimal dialogue. Directors and co-stars reported that he often used an earpiece to receive his lines during filming. Others noticed he appeared confused, distant, or avoided longer dialogue scenes. Still, the films kept coming, mostly released on digital platforms, and his name remained a commercial draw. Over time, the public began to speculate. Was it exhaustion, a lack of interest, or health problems? Questions intensified as his behavior behind the scenes grew more private, and his public appearances became increasingly rare. His absence from major events, interviews, and award shows, once natural parts of his routine, began to suggest something more serious was happening. In March 2022, after months of rumors, his family released an official statement. Bruce Willis would be stepping away from acting indefinitely. The reason was a diagnosis of aphasia, a neurological condition that affects one's ability to communicate. The announcement, made with grace and care, confirmed what many had suspected, but it also raised deeper concerns about the future of one of the industry's most beloved actors. Shortly after, in 2023, came an even more difficult update. Bruce had been diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia, FTD, a degenerative, incurable disease that impacts cognitive, emotional, and behavioral functions. What once seemed like a quiet or strategic retreat was revealed to be a deeply personal battle against a condition that slowly erases a person's identity. From that point on, Bruce Willis disappeared almost entirely from public life, not by artistic choice, but out of medical necessity. What happened to him afterward? Following the official announcement of his aphasia diagnosis in 2022 and the confirmation of frontotemporal dementia, FTD, in 2023, Bruce Willis withdrew completely from the public eye. His family's focus shifted to providing him with comfort, emotional stability, and privacy as he now faces a progressive and debilitating illness. Frontotemporal dementia is a rare but devastating neurological condition. It affects areas of the brain responsible for language, behavior, and decision-making. In its early stages, patients may show subtle personality changes or struggle with communication. Over time, these symptoms evolve into more profound losses: the ability to recognize faces, form sentences, regulate emotions, and ultimately maintain self-awareness. According to updates shared by his wife, Emma Heming Willis, and his daughters, Bruce, now lives surrounded by his closest family, following a carefully monitored and protected daily routine. In recent interviews, Emma described the experience as a continuous lesson in how to live with the disease that changes everyone around it. She has also taken on an active role in raising awareness of FTD, supporting research efforts and foundations that help affected families. What moves fans the most is the heartbreaking idea that Bruce Willis, a man who spent decades telling stories, now lives with a condition that silences his own narrative. Various reports suggest that he no longer fully recognizes who he is, a painful reality for anyone, but especially for someone whose identity was once so public, vibrant, and expressive. Even so, glimpses shared by his family show moments of affection and connection. Bruce smiling beside his daughters, walking with his wife, or watching a sunset. These are simple, profoundly human snapshots. Each one is an effort to preserve the dignity of a man who, though he may no longer remember his greatness, is still surrounded by love and respect. Bruce Willis's journey has become something far greater than a career. It's now a story of family, memory, and resilience. And even away from the cameras, he continues to make an impact, quietly but powerfully. Where he is and what he's doing now. Bruce Willis currently lives with his wife, Emma Heming, and their 2 young daughters in a quiet residence in California. The family's top priority is to provide him with emotional stability, safety, and comfort as he navigates the progression of frontotemporal dementia, FTD. While there is no known cure for the condition, targeted care can help ease symptoms and offer quality of life within the limits of the illness. Bruce's life today is entirely focused on well-being. He has stepped away from all public and professional activity. His daily routine is quiet, home-based, and carefully supervised by a team of medical and support professionals. He doesn't give interviews, attend events, or interact with the media. The updates shared with the public come exclusively through his family, primarily Emma, who has become a significant voice in raising awareness about FTD. Emma, in addition to being his wife and caregiver, is now an active advocate for organizations focused on frontotemporal dementia research and education. She shares occasional updates with a tone of respect and dignity, balancing openness with the protection of Bruce's privacy. In a recent interview, she said, "Not every day is a good day, but there is love every day." The sentence captures the essence of this new chapter in Bruce's life. His older daughters, from his previous marriage to Demi Moore, remain closely involved. Since his diagnosis, the family has grown even more united. Photos shared on social media show intimate family gatherings, birthday celebrations, brief walks in the garden, and quiet, affectionate moments. For a man whose image once spanned the globe, the focus now is deeply personal, on connection, even without words. It's important to acknowledge that Bruce no longer recognizes his own legacy. According to those close to him, he is not fully aware that he was once one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. This progressive erasure of identity is one of the most painful aspects of FTD. Yet despite that, his presence is honored every day by those who love him, not for the fame he's lost, but for the person he still is. In a world where many celebrities fight to stay relevant, Bruce Willis lives the opposite reality. His cultural significance remains untouched, even if he himself no longer knows it. And perhaps in that, there's a quiet lesson about value, memory, and what it truly means to be human. Curiosity, a deeper reflection. Bruce Willis's story goes far beyond public curiosity about the fate of a celebrity. It invites us to reflect on something deeply human, the vulnerability of memory and the fragility of identity. After all, who are we? if not the sum of the stories we've lived and the memories we carry. Bruce Willis no longer remembers that he was Bruce Willis, and that may be the hardest part to grasp. He doesn't recognize the characters he portrayed, the iconic lines he delivered, or the millions of people who applauded him over 4 decades, and yet he is still here, still loved, still meaningful to the world. That paradox, being unforgettable to others while forgetting yourself, is one of the most heartbreaking aspects of dementia. But it also serves as a powerful reminder. No matter how strong, successful, or celebrated, none of us is immune to the silent erasure that neurological diseases can bring. Dementia does not care about status, fame, or wealth. It affects human beings. And in that, we are all the same. Today, Bruce lives surrounded by love, but far from his own biography. He no longer makes films, but he still moves people. His quiet battle is shining a light on a little understood condition that affects thousands of families every year, many of whom face the disease without access to resources, support, or awareness. That's why his story matters. Not just because of who he was, but because of what he represents now. And maybe the most powerful way to honor him is this: to remember. To remember Bruce Willis with respect, with gratitude, and with the understanding that memory is a shared treasure. As long as we remember Bruce, his roles, his spirit, the emotions he gave us, a part of him continues to exist, even if he no longer knows who he is. So now, we turn the question to you. What's your most unforgettable memory of Bruce Willis? Share in the comments. Your story could inspire others, and more than that, it could help keep alive the legacy of a man who, even in silence, still has so much to say.